What's going on, guys, and welcome back. HSU sent me over their aluminum GoPro extension kit for me to check out and let you guys know if it's worth buying or not. We're not talking about this yet. This is not a paid advertisement. I'm free to tell you my unfiltered, unadulterated opinion of whether this is worth buying or not. So, let's get into it. So if you ever find yourself in that situation where you want to get a specific GoPro shot, or many different GoPro shots, and you don't want to stick camera mounts all over everything, and sometimes you need just that little extra reach to get your GoPro in the right position. Reach over a dash, or, get just high enough to get a cool view of, say, a time lapse with maybe a rabbit and a bird in it. And another question that comes to mind is, why get the aluminum over the plastic? Well, in the situation of putting a camera on your helmet, keeping the weight down is kind of a priority, because you don't want all that extra weight hanging off the side of your helmet or off the top of your helmet, craning your neck while you're riding around. And I can tell you that these aluminum extensions weigh pretty similar to the plastic ones. In fact, I weighed a couple of the common extension setups that I use versus the aluminum and the plastic to see how they stack up. And the short extension in the plastic with the screws and everything was 45 grams. The same length of aluminum extension with all metal screws, mind you, is 38 grams. That doesn't sound like a whole lot, but maybe 38 grams if you're doing a side mount camera, that could be enough to save your neck on a long ride. If you find yourself riding for a long day in the middle of the summer and it gets super hot out there, I have actually seen the longer plastic extensions droop. I wish I had it to show you, but I threw the thing away because it was not very straight anymore. So with aluminum, you don't have to worry about that. Unless you find yourself riding on the surface of the sun, this thing is not going to sag. Aluminum doesn't care if it's a hot 130-degree day out there and you're, riding in the blazing sun all day. Another cool thing about this set is that the all-metal screws use the same thread as your original GoPro mount. So that means you don't have to carry around multiple screws while you're trying to mount up a camera somewhere. I have had some cheaper sets that use a different thread pitch. Really annoying to have to carry two different sets of screws and figure out which one goes where when you're trying to piece together something for just really weird shot. Also, something I feel like I really need to point out is like on this long guy. This is an all metal one-piece extension. There are some out there that are like 3 individual bars that you have to kind of hold all in place and bolt the thing together. It gets kind of janky when you're putting it together. No need to worry about that with this guy. You put it in place, run the screws into it. The extension itself is threaded, so you don't have that little nut to worry about losing or stripping out or any of that stuff. It helps keep the little bump out of your way so you can mount this flat against the surface. Very handy for getting, say, a weird shot that I did on the car here a while back. And all of these extensions have a 1/4-20 threaded hole. Some of them actually have 2 1/4-20 threaded holes. If you have a track style setup, you can use one of the little square 1/4-20 screws threaded on the side of this thing. And on your long extension, you have a 3/8-16, which opens up the possibility for even more hard mounting solutions. And not to mention, the skeletized body lets you route your cables right next to it, and you can zip tie straight to this thing. Keep your cables from hanging loose and getting snagged on stuff while you're on the go, going down a trail, or say you just don't want your cables flapping around in the breeze. In the kit, you get your 3 extensions, you get 3 metal thumb screws, and you get a little wrench. You also get an O-ring and a little plastic washer for each one of your screws to help with the tensioning and also not marring up this black anodized finish on here. You won't always need the O-ring and the plastic washer in the kit. Like some of your GoPro mounts are a little bit thicker on one ear, so you may actually take those off and run it down, in which case your screw is going to be going against the plastic of the mount, so you won't have to worry about scratching this guy either. So, are there any bad sides to this guy? One thing I've noticed in all of my testing is this does not fit every GoPro mount. And here's an example of what I'm talking about. This GoPro mount from no-name company A slides right together. And company B it fits, it's just a little on the tight side. Another thing that I'll say is that not always are these the right length for what you need. Take on my helmet setups, for example. On one, I have the Ruroc Atlas. I'm using the Ruroc mount. And they're a little baby extension because it puts the camera in the right spot. Now on my Arai helmet, I'm able to use the shortest extension in this kit, which is 8.5 centimeters. But if it was just a little bit shorter, I would like it a little more. So a shorter extension in the future would be pretty cool. Say like 6 centimeters, 5 centimeters, something like that. Just a little stubby guy to help get the camera out there off of the mount a little bit. One very important thing to take into account with these is don't think of these as like a one-size-fits-all solution just using aluminum mounts or just using plastic mounts. Mixing these together will get you into some pretty interesting situations with your camera, and you can get in some positions that you might not otherwise be able to get into with just one set or the other. And as I was getting to with the length of the extensions, on your plastic extensions you tend to get some of those little short fellas that are like an inch long. It can kind of help make up the length difference in the odd steps of these aluminum extensions. And I will tell you that already, and definitely going forward, these things have become a pretty indispensable part of my kit when it comes to mounting a camera in different positions. It's nice to have that flexibility of having an extension, A, that isn't going to bounce all over the place because it's aluminum, and also those threaded holes, man. Being able to rigid mount the extension is super awesome when you can bolt through a hole on a frame or something like that. Helps get the camera in just like that sweet spot, and you know it's not going to fall off like the adhesive of the mount's going to peel away. No worries there. Once it's bolted up, it's good to go. These things are currently priced at $18.99 at the time of recording this video, which begs the question, is it worth the purchase? I can tell you for me and my kit and what I use them for, they very quickly became irreplaceable in certain situations. If you're interested in these or any other kind of GoPro accessories, check out HSU Shop. I'll have a link in the video description. And anything you decide to purchase off of there, use the code SKIPSHIFT10. Save 10% on your order. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, stay safe, stay sane. We'll catch you next time. Peace.